Look at our learning target, it is I can find the median of a numerical data set. Now, the median is a measure that we do use in statistics, and it is the middle number when the data set is listed from least to greatest. Now, the median is also something like what we learned yesterday with the mean. It is a measure of center. And what it means by a measure of center, if you think back to yesterday, is it shows the middle of a data set, a single number that represents that middle of the number of the data set. The median is better whenever you have an outlier in your data set or it is skewed one way or the other. The median can only be found if the data set is like the ones were yesterday. If you think back, those are numerical data sets. And if a data set has an extreme blank or an extreme blank, the median is a better measure of central tendency to use. Now, we really didn't discuss in particular what these words were yesterday. These are extreme minimums or maximum. If you think about what the word minimum or maximum is, it's the smallest the number can be or the largest the number can be. It's just larger words that have the same meaning. So what these extreme minimum and extreme maximums are basically outliers, which again are numbers that are nowhere close to the rest of the data set. So to find the median, you look back up here to our definition, you have to order the numbers how? Yes, from least to greatest. And then after you order these numbers from least to greatest, what are we looking for? Yeah, the middle number. Now, if it helps you remember, the median is the middle of the highway. If you ever hear anybody talk about that, it's the same word. It basically has the same meaning. Meaning it's the middle of the highway or the middle of the data set. Median is also close to the word medium, which is the middle-sized Coke that you can get whenever you go to McDonald's. So that's something that can help you remember what the difference between mean and median really are. Number 7, it says if there is a blank number of values in a data set, there will be 2 middle numbers. So we're not always going to end up with just one single number in the middle. If there is an even amount of numbers, you're going to end up with 2 middle numbers. That's going to happen every time that you have an even amount of numbers in your data set. And if there are 2 middle numbers, you can't use them both as the median. There can only be one number that represents the median. So to find that one number, you have to do what we did yesterday, and that's find the mean or the average of these 2 numbers. Now, we're not going to add up all the numbers in the data set. We're just going to add up these 2 middle numbers and then divide by 2, and that's going to give you the average of the 2 middle numbers to give you the median of this particular data set. If we look down at number 9, these are 2 examples we're going to work through together. The first thing we have to do again is to what? Yes, we have to order them from least to greatest. So we have 5, 20, 50, 80, 90, 150, and 200. Now, if we count in our data set, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 numbers. After we rewrote them, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 numbers. So we've put all of our numbers. We've included them all. Now we can worry about finding the median. There are 2 ways to find the median. Today we're just going to focus on the first way. It's the most simple way, and that's to mark out the least number and the greatest number and repeat that until you have 1 or 2 numbers left in the middle of your data set. So if we look at this first one together, we have 5, then we have 200, then we have 20, and 150, and then we have 50, and then we have 90. So now we just have 1 number left in the middle, and that is 80. So it wants us to find the median of this data set. So your median is 80. You can write that over there to the side. Just make sure you include 80 is equal to the median. That way you specify what 80 stands for. If you don't specify, the reader of the paper doesn't know if that number is just sitting out there by itself. You accidentally wrote it, forgot to erase it, if that's your answer. So be specific as to what that 80 represents. Now, if we look at our next data set, if we count, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 numbers. So there are 8 numbers in this data set. That's an even amount of numbers. We're going to be left with 2 numbers in the middle. So if we go back and we order these from least to greatest, the smallest number is 2. Then we have 6, 7, 10, 15, 16, 20, 45. So we have 8 numbers in our data set. That's what we started with. That's what we should have. Double check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 numbers. Repeat the process of marking out the least number and the greatest number. So we have 2. Then we have 45. Then we have 6 and 20. Then we have 7 and 16. Then we have 10 and 15 left in the middle. If I mark out 10 and 15, I don't have any numbers left over. I look, there's 2 numbers left. That can happen. So to do this, again, we have to do 10 plus 15 and divide it by 2. We got to find the mean of these 2 numbers. So what is 10 plus 15? Yes, it's 25. And we're going to divide it by 2. And that is equal to what? Right, it's 12 and a half. So we ended up with 2 numbers in the middle, added them together, divided by 2. That gave us one single number to represent the median. Again, you can't just leave that sitting out there in space by itself. You have to say 12 and a half is equal to the median. That would be your final answer. Does anybody have any questions? If not, you do have your worksheet on the back. You all are to work on that. You can work on that with your shoulder partners if you'd like to today. Tomorrow we will do our individual work. I will be coming around to answer any questions you all may have. There are 6 questions. Work on it. Work on it at your pace. If you get finished, I will check your answers and we will go over what you have done together. If anybody does not have any questions, then you all can go ahead and get started.